Trevor Lawrence.
He is up to QB 15, which seems low for a guy that I was really excited about what happened for him, but he was outside of my top 20 quarterbacks before the draft.
Does anyone have Lawrence higher than 15th?
No.
16th for me.
Just give me like 2 names right ahead of him.
Tua Purdy.
Perfect. Bryce Young, Heath, was a riser for you.
Yeah, he is a 2 QB starter. Hooray.
Okay. All right, let's talk about DeAndre Swift. He's a running back riser for you. Where do you have him?
He was someone who projected inside the top 24 before the draft, but I didn't want to rank him that high because I really thought the Bears were going to do something during the draft. And now it seems like the worst case scenario for him is they go out and get a Chubb or a Dobbins or something like that, and he still gets to play a much lesser version of the Jahmyr Gibbs role. And so I think you can confidently draft DeAndre Swift right around RB20.
I think my new favorite thing is when someone says something that's potentially dirty and just Dave's quick reaction to it.
Love it. Swift was RB24 last year per game, and that was with career low 3.8 yards per carry, 6 touchdowns in 17 games. He was not the goal line back. We'll see how that shapes out this year. Javonte Williams, yeah, big. It's a little bit of a surprise for me. I would say big surprise that the Cowboys didn't draft a running back on the first 2 days. But yeah, go ahead, Javonte.
Same thing I said about Swift, except it's top 36 and not top 24. Like he projected as a top 36 back before the draft. I didn't want to rank him that high because he was so terrible in Denver. But now there's like a 45% chance he's the best running back in Dallas, maybe even higher. He's probably still doesn't go till round 10 or round 9, but he is definitely someone as a 0 RB drafter that you might just happen to have an RB2 for a few weeks.
Just have the barf bag nearby when you draft him.
All right. Probably what we were saying about Chuba Hubbard last year,
Not at all. Not at all.
No?
No.
Well, we thought Jonathan Brooks would take that job pretty quickly.
No, but we knew that he wasn't going to be ready at the start of the season. And so the whole idea of drafting Chuba was you'll get off to a good start with him and then see what happens.
Well, we never thought that Chuba could be as good as he was, though.
No, of course not. And I guess there's a chance that Javonte could pull off the same thing.
Yeah. All right. Jerry Jeudy, you talked about Cedric Tillman as another rankings riser for you. Where is he?
Again, another guy that just probably moves into the top 50 wide receivers who was not in the top 50 wide receivers and has a chance to be a top 36 wide receiver.
And Ricky Pearsall was a riser for you. Does that extend to Jawan Jennings as well?
Jennings was a little bit of a boost, but I already had him as a number 3 wide receiver. I think I'm still lower on Pearsall than most, so you should probably ask these guys how high they are on him, but he definitely moves up because the 49ers did nothing.
Well, consider that a way of asking these guys. Guys, where are you on Ricky Pearsall?
I have them back-to-back, essentially. Jennings and Pearsall.
They're close to me. Jennings is at 38. Pearsall is at 40. Right in that round 7 turn range.
All right, some rankings followers for Heath. Tyrone Tracy and Najee Harris. I do not want I do not want to draft Najee Harris at all.
Nope.
Tracy, I don't quite feel the same way. See where he ends up, but obviously Cam Scadaboo is not Omarion Hampton, so that's the difference there. But where are you feeling? What are you feeling here?
I just don't think Tyrone Tracy's Najee Harris either. And the Chargers offense might score twice as many touchdowns as the Giants this year. So I will draft Najee Harris before Tyrone Tracy for sure. But they definitely were both fallers. Najee was a potential fantasy starter, kind of in that same Swift range where we didn't want to rank him that high because of what could happen. And it did happen to Najee Harris. It didn't happen to DeAndre Swift. I think Tracy could be anything from the best running back on the Giants who finishes as a borderline number 2 to completely irrelevant by week 6.
Just general question here. Scadaboo was a round 4 pick. Mm-hmm. Typically not really a huge impact player.
Right. What was Tracy?
A round 5 pick.
Right.
And all that still typically not, and right, like it, and especially out of the gate. I mention this all the time, but rarely see a D3 pick in week 1 come out and have a big role. You know, it just doesn't happen. Are we just kind of making an exception? And I think we should, because Scadaboo, he was the 3rd pick of day 3 in a deep running back class. So is that why, you know, kind of look at him differently than most 4th round picks?
I don't remember who said it, if it was Emery or Ryan, about just the short lifespan that he may have in the NFL. And do the Giants, you know, see that in camp, maximize that potential, make this their 1-2 punch, and maybe Scadaboo's the leader of the group right now. I also don't think, you know, for what it's worth, I know he's kind of always just been sort of like a steady floor type of player, but Devin Singletary probably still gets some work too.
Yeah.
And that could be a little annoying for both these guys. So I would take Najee over Tracy personally, but it's close.
All right, maybe I was too harsh there. I guess I kind of feel like Najee's going to go ahead of Tracy. So in terms of draft value, I will not be drafting Najee Harris.
Oh, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're both going to end up being in tandems. It's a matter of, you know, who has the better chance to lead their tandem. Tracy has the better chance to lead his tandem, I would think.
Yes, exactly what I was thinking.
If things play out the way we want it to, you know, but again, what Najee does is, I think, frustrating for what we want to see, because we saw it in Pittsburgh. I mean, you know, he doesn't get hurt, so we don't get the backup will eventually take over, at least so far in his career. You know, 4 seasons he's played every game, and he doesn't fumble. He's got 3 fumbles in his career. You know, so we saw what happened in Pittsburgh. You know, the more talented player, maybe, if you want to put it that way. You know, Jaylen Warren was playing enough that it was good for him, but not to his, you know, maximum potential. I don't think that'll be the case with the Chargers, because again, 1-year investment, you know, whatever, it's $5 million or it could be, you know, up to $9.5. It should be Hampton's backfield. But even to your point, Adam, about day 3 running backs, you know, sometimes we don't see it with the, you know, early draft picks getting this type of workload that we still want to see. You know, it could take, you know, a couple weeks as well.
Absolutely. 2nd round picks. I make that case. Oh, it's only 1st round picks historically that jump into a big role right out of the gate. I'm hoping differently, obviously, especially for Judkins. Let's see. Rhamondre Stevenson, right? So Trayvon Henderson, 2nd round pick. Rhamondre Stevenson, a faller for you. It wasn't even a debate for you to put Henderson ahead of him, was it, Heath?
Nope.
All right. Anybody? Where's Stevenson compared to Najee Harris and Tyrone Tracy?
Just behind them, because I don't think it's as like there's a chance that I could still see Najee being the goal line back. I think Najee could be the RB2 for the Chargers and score more touchdowns than Tracy as the RB1 for the Giants. Stevenson might be the goal line back too, but I don't think they're going to score as many touchdowns as the Chargers.
I would take Stevenson over Tracy and Harris, simply because I want to see Henderson get the work. Like, will he be? He should lead them in receptions in their backfield. Maybe as a team, but
yeah,
he should lead them in receptions. Will he get those opportunities on 1st and 2nd down?
Jerome Ford is a faller. That one is obvious. Odunze a faller for you. What about DJ Moore?
Just a little ding for Moore, but a bigger ding for Odunze.
So Odunze or Travis Hunter?
Hunter, for sure, by a lot.
A lot.
Okay. Seems like wide receiver is pretty deep, because, you know, mentioned some good receivers there in that wide receiver 30 range. If Odunze is not even a top 36 wide receiver, I think it's pretty cool. Jaden Reed, a loser, and Cole Kmet, a loser.